Hello there, welcome to the channel, welcome back perhaps, and today is the second parter of a little exploration with the Dark World. The first part having been trying the Dark World before the fuzz that we're currently using for our smaller pedal board, the Behringer bass brassmaster. And now this second part being the Dark World after. And we've been playing around with it a little bit, but I think what we're going to do is just dive straight in with the main reason that we were inspired to bring the Dark World around, which was with the dark mode there, which would allow us to do freeze and hold type things. And according to the manual at least, that should mean that every time that it is triggered, it resets, and so it would be a changing note. Every time we play, it would be a different note. However, that's not how things were working out. So we're going to play around with that a little bit. We will try with the fuzz and without. I mean, essentially without the fuzz it would be the same thing that we had going before. So we're going to see how it responds with the fuzz before in this mode. Now actually what we will do first is a quick demonstration of our sample that we're using. This is just the two highest C's on the contra, and it's the two highest that we're capable of. There are more, but then we will add the fuzz, and then we will add the dark mode. Here we go. Sounding very nice there. Brassy. And you can hear there that the high C did not erase the low C, so it's an accumulative thing. Okay, let's reset that, and what I want to try is going back with our let's see, bass range. So, and this will give us a stronger impression of that. So it is not doing the thing that we would like it to do, it seems. Here we go. Once again, it's very easy to hear how it is not being reset, and this could be to do with something of the attack of the contra being different than the attack of a guitar pick, and that being what resets it, but we are not sure. However, we do have two more things. The first one is we're going to try one other thing to see how it responds in these situations, and that is we're going to see if we increase the resonance on the filter. Let's get rid of this. If we increase the resonance on the filter, does that make it more like a guitar pick that would allow the freeze and holds to to reset. So let's try, this would be what it sounds like without the fuzz. And with the fuzz. Without first. Something happened there. That may actually be doing something. Okay. Well, maybe we've met with some success here with the acoustic. Acoustic contra. Let's try our reverb thing again. Just reset that. Although ideally it will reset itself. Let's see. All the way up. No. I see more resonance. Okay. No, does not seem to be doing what we want it to do. Let us try with the fuzz. I mean, we did seem to have more luck with the previous. Maybe it was because the sound was stopping more. Let's play with that. Let's okay, first of all, let's try with the fuzz. See if the resonance has any effect there. Nope, no joy. Okay, well, what were we getting before? Was that accurate or not? Let's try something else. Let's try the full instrumental range. There we go. And this will, so this is with the resonance up, and dark mode is all set. Yeah. Yeah, it's not getting rid of the other stuff. Okay. Well, in that case, I think that we are going to conclude that the black mode, while it may have its uses, is not ideal. Now, there's one more thing that I wanted to possibly give a try. And that's a little dip switch that's on the back, which I do believe we can reach. Excuse the... Okay, it is the dark channel. And that's like the momentary... Excuse us there. So, what that means is that we now have a momentary thing here. So rather than it turning it off and on, it turns it into a momentary thing, and that's a feature that we could save. So let's see how that works for us. The other thought that's just occurred to us is that we haven't really been playing with the sensitivity in the black mode there, but it didn't seem to be making that much difference before. I really am getting the impression that it's got much more to do with the quality of the attack rather than the sensitivity. Okay. Let's go to a range here, and we'll see how this reacts when we are doing the bass range of the instrument. So we're going to stick without the fuzz for now. Oops. Okay, hold on. Apologies there. We just wanted to reset the resonance and the volume. Okay, so what we're going to do is like this. Okay, and we'll see what gets put in. Oops. My goodness, we are not quite on our game here. We didn't go back into the black mode. Okay, here we are into the black mode now. Okay. Well, that at least gives us something that would be very interesting there, which is the ability to build a chord. So like we could build, like we could play something and add to this thing that's being saved, and we could add to the thing that's and add on top of that and add on top of that, but it wouldn't fade away. Okay, but the drone does continue, so it's not like turning this off stops the drone. Okay, we could probably do that the other way as well, where if we change the switch, the dip switch, with it off, then when we hold it down, that's when it saves a note. But the fact that it's not resetting is a strange and unusual thing. Maybe we will ask the folks at Chase Bliss about that. Okay, let's see how that sounds with the fuzz. Do something a bit more scratchy. reverb. Yeah, I mean, that's something that would be usable. Okay, well, what we're going to do now is, seeing as we've explored that dark mode as much as possible, and excuse the clicking that we're undoubtedly going to bring about. Oh, nope, very nice. We are now going to just think of some other ways that we might be able to use the dark world post Fuzz, because yeah, it's a wonderful tool, and we were having a little bit of a play with it post Fuzz before, and finding some nice ways that we could play around sonically. So we're going to go back to our previous sample, and what we're going to do is we're going to go all like tone completely open, no what's it called, cut there. Mix is completely wet, and what we're going to do is we're going to go through the 3 algorithms in the normal channel and just see how they sound with and without Fuzz. So that will just give us a better picture of where things are. Here is our sample. And here is whole. Very pretty. And let's just try a bit of cut on that, because it can make a nice pad reverb, perhaps. Yeah, very nice. And we could even do some kind of like fake modulation. Okay, so there's some possibility there. Now we're going to go on to the plate. Much warmer, synthetic maybe. Now with the fuzz. It's very pleasant. Really brings out the brassiness in the fuzz there. Let's see how it sounds a bit darker. Yeah, that's really nice. Okay, darker still. Let's try some of that fake modulation. Okay, yeah, a very nice contrast to the whole. Finally we have the spring. Oops, that can stay there without the fuzz. Yeah, lovely quality to that. Tremulous. Let's get that a bit longer, darken the tone. Let's try a bit of a darker tone. It's almost like a tank kind of reverb thing. Okay, well, I think that that's a really good look at our three basic standard type reverbs. I think that what's really going to be useful with using the dark world with this situation that we've got going, where we're trying to do this darker ambient stuff, is actually combining those with the other stuff that we've got going on. Now, we've already looked at the the black mode there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to skip over to the mod. Now, I think we'll do the same with the mod that we were just doing, where we'll do it without any tone reduction, or damping, mix 100% wet, and we'll have no modulation, and like a new there. Okay, we're just going to play around with this and see what we can find. And here we go. I mean, in some ways it's kind of like the spring, isn't it? It's got that lovely metallic quality to it that I think that we could also attain quite nicely with the tone knob. It's got that pulsing to it. Okay, now some mod. I mean, it's quite a lot. I think past noon is where the distortion really gets intense. Let's try damping it a little bit. Okay, now if we're looking at this as something that we would use as an addition to the fuzz, so in other words, bringing in some of the dry signal there, and then having a reverb after that, I think that we're probably not going to want to have it that long. So let's have a listen to some of that kind of thing, where this is very low, and we're essentially using it as a little addition, an affecting of the fuzz tone. It's a bit much. Oh, hold on. It's quite nice. It seems to be missing something though. I think what I want to do is I want to see how this sounds when we put it through some spring. So we've got the dark going into the world. Yeah, we'll start with spring. I mean, I wonder how whole might sound as well. Let's start with spring. And we've got this going into this, the dark into the world. And then basically, if we're looking at it like the smallest trail possible. It's also like smoke trailing off it, which is quite pleasant. Yeah, I'm into that. One more time. Try it a little darker. Yeah, let's try the whole, see how that sounds. it's like a different quality of smoke. It's still quite nice, but I think we might even want some of this. That kind of pitch wobble that we can get. Okay. The other option, of course, is to try this one of these verbs going into the mod. So let's see how we feel about that particular combination. We're back to spring. We've got tone all the way open. Yeah. There we go. I mean, it's still quite long, and that's just in spring. Let's see if we like plate better or whole. It's quite nice. A little bit more. Trebly maybe. And then whole. Yeah, again, it's like different qualities of smoke. Okay, one more time. Let's try the other routing. Yeah, I think I prefer that. Or just the... Yeah, I think I like the subtlety of the reverb. Of the other reverb being used too. Okay, well, that's a fun little experiment. I mean, basically what we're looking for here doesn't... we've got the mod up all the way. Maybe we could bring that down just a little. But like the dwell and the decay are not doing anything above the minimum there. And we're still getting an effect that we like. Okay. That's something that we may well consider using at some point. Let's go on to the shim mode here now. Oh, actually, before we do that, I think I would like to hear that with the low notes. Let's see how that comes across. Add some reverb. Not really that noticeable with the reverb. There we go. That's rather nice. Has to be said, that is truly delicious. Okay, well, very nice there. Really makes a big difference with the dark sky, sorry, the night sky in there. We are going to do one more little thing, having explored the black mode right at the beginning, the mod mode just now. Let's hit the shim. And this one, taking out this channel here, yeah, leave that there. Let's take the mix all the way down to demo. Okay, basically, the main thing going on here is this here, which is, it kind of generates like a grain kind of experience, but when it's all the way up, it's something like this. Which, you know, with the bit of dry in there as well. I mean, it might be useful for something, but, you know. See, that takes us into some really interesting territory. However, there's the length of it now. But that's something I think that, again, we can taper with these other reverbs. I mean, that's lovely, but on its own, and that's pretty much all the way. Now the other thing going on here is the shim. Which is really quite special. We'll have it blended. Yeah. Yeah. I'm very mechanical. And I think it's the kind of thing we would want to soften with one of these other reverbs. Just as a little example, something like that. Let's put it into a hall. Doesn't have to be long. But that going into that dark interworld. Oof, very nice. see how it sounds with spring. And if we crank it all the way up. But there's not really a way to control the length of it. I mean, that's quite interesting. But I think what I'm more drawn to are these like bigger chunks going into the spring or a hall or something else. Where it's actually quite short. I mean, that's lovely. Or even something like this. Yeah, and let's introduce some dry signal. And that's very pleasant. Pre-delay. Maybe not. I mean, let's see how that sounds with the reverb. Yeah. Now, another option would be to do the reverb into the choppiness, which will extend it out further. So we've got now the world into the dark. Let's stick with our spring until suggested otherwise. That's very pleasant. There we go. You know, like stretch it out a little. Yeah, maybe not entirely necessary, but let's bring that instead of doing that. That's very pleasant too. Yeah, I bring that up and bring this down. this is all fun stuff. Very subtle. And I think this would be something worth having in some ways as like if we want to be able to like reset the sound of the strymon, being able to turn that off and have the dark world going as like a mono reverb in some way. It's like some of that more extended stuff like we were doing with the standard reverbs, changing the algorithm on the nightsky and then bringing it back in. But there's a lot of possibility there. It's definitely more on the subtle side. Now, the other thing that I wanted to try, I don't think we did it, was one of those like longer type. That's a lot. Tame some of those highs now. Let's give it some texture, but that into like a whole. Something more gentle. To soften that. See, that's really nice. It's a beautiful texture. I am more inclined to the brighter side of things, though. Let's see how it sounds up here. Yeah, you get that more like metallic, almost like grating sound. That's an interesting possibility. Oof, lovely. Ooh, very nice. Okay, I mean, it's pretty clear that there's some real serious options there. I'm thinking that like there's basically two ways that we could use this. One is creating interesting trails that go on the fuzz as it goes into another reverb, like the strymon further down the way. But also then there's that idea I mentioned before about like having like a backup reverbs like those, where we can still do these larger ambient soundscapes with just the dark world, while the strymon is taking a break. And you know, then we can also add in stuff on the fable to make it more textured. I mean, that's something that would probably be interesting with the the black as well. Maybe that's something we'll do a separate little exploration of. Yeah, there was one more thing that I wanted to try for now with the shim, and that's to use like these very big settings. At first without any shim. The tone open to so this kind of thing. To go into a nightsky setting that we've got, which is basically 100% wet, and it's very much that sparse mode, maximum size pitch knob side, where we get those very big reflections. So let's see how that sounds. It's very nice. Okay, back to the biggest. Add in some shimmer now. So we should ideally go 100% wet for this. There we go. That's very pleasant. Very nice, although I do have to say I think I did prefer the results we were getting from the fable for that particular night sky setting that we developed. We were able to change the size of the grains quite effectively, which was nice. Okay, well, Dark World. Fun exploration there. I don't know if you might have had a chance to give this one a go. It's certainly not a new pedal, but there is a great deal of possibility here, and I think we may end up figuring out some uses for it. Not sure if it'll be in our chain right now, though. Let's think. I think there's definitely some possibility in the idea of having like the Dark World, whether it's in black mode with a sustained note or like with the sustained feel of, for example, like a hall, with that textured hall that we had with the shim going into it was delicious. But that having texture then added to it by the fable. In some ways we are also like the idea of like the shorter stuff as like trails on the fuzz tone is also something that is very applicable with the Space Bender, which in some ways is more dramatic than the Dark World. The Dark World I think is more on the subtle atmospheric side, and the Space Bender is more on the dramatic, even excessive side of things. Both of which are wonderful things, but what we can't do with the Space Bender are these bigger soundscapes. So that would be something to recommend, the Dark World. Plus, you know, subtlety can be nice. Okay, I think that's it for this evening. We weren't able to get exactly what we wanted out of the Dark World, but there's still possibility there, especially with that latch function that we were playing with before. Definitely some possibilities there. Definitely something that could be used for soundscapes in a live performance. Okay, well, hope this has been as interesting and enjoyable for you as it has been for us. Thank you for sticking around, and be well.